my mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now, do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this.
Sunday, everyone. That comes up like an idea. Very okay weekend.
We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side. I'm gone, so don't run from the truth. You're lost, now I know. You play me just like a flute. I still can't believe you had me on a leash, cutting all my teeth with all the lies you bring. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Good to see you all. Happy Memorial Day weekend for those here in the States. Today is May 26, 2024. It is 1:05 p.m. in the East Coast of the United States. This is part two of our deep dive with all things Proudfoot, keeping up with the Proudfoots. Batten down the hatches because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Um, yeah, there's lots of storms, Olivia. Lots of storms. Lots of storms. Um, over like Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio right now. All of that. Single mom. Thank you so much, my friend, for 2 months. Love having you here. Appreciate your support. Guys, before we get started, if you don't mind, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, greatly appreciated. It is a free way to help support the channel and get the word out for all of these missing children that we speak about and the missing in general. Another way is to share this live on your favorite social media platforms. Really does help. And of course, becoming a member or donating is always a good way to help. Never expected, but always appreciated. Uh, People are asking about JLR. Magnolia did leave a thing this morning. It says, "Good morning, everyone. Not my usual good morning over on Jonathan Lee Rich's Investigates, but just wanted to share the update. Jonathan is resting well and his symptoms have eased a bit. More tests today, and we'll find out if he needs surgery or not. The nurses are awesome, and they even took care of me too. I'm resting off and on when I can. Thank you to everyone for your love and prayers. We all love you so much. Hashtag JLR's Army." Wishing him the absolute best in his recovery, and Magnolia will take good care of him as well. And it sounds like the nurses are going to be taking good care of him as well. Also, this evening at what time is it? Oh, May 26th. What time? I think it's at 8 p.m. or yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. Chris McDonough from the interview room. He will be doing a live Sebastian Rogers missing. What clues the interview with his mom and stepfather may reveal. And he's got Steve Johnson on there. That'll be one you don't want to miss. It's definitely going to be a good one. I always love it when Steve joins Chris from the interview room. So make sure you don't miss that as well. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a few things situated here. All right. Single mom, thank you so much for gifting one membership, my dear. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you receive that membership, please thank our beloved single mom, True Crime. Appreciate you so much for your support. Means more than you know, single mom. Thank you. All right. Ain't God good this Sunday evening? Good to see everyone in chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have so much to be thankful for. I know things are crazy out in this case, but we always have more to be thankful for than not. Let's focus on our blessings, right? Okay. So, for those of you that was here yesterday, we have been going through the interviews. Now, it's not like we haven't seen the interviews before, but what we are doing, we are taking out what Chris and Katie have said, and then I'm putting them into a program, and then I'm going to be doing a video of all of their statements and facts, and we will chop that up eventually as well. I won't be at CrimeCon this year, Joy. I will be at CrimeCon next year in New York City, but I won't be there this year. But if you go, I hope you have a great time. It's coming right up. Won't be very long at all. So hope you have a good time if you go. All right. So and another thing that I want to discuss. People say, we don't really have many facts in this case. And we can't even say that Chris and Katie, what they are saying are facts, because they are technically suspects themselves. And because we don't know if they're lying or not, we got to remember that we don't know if they're lying or not. But what they are making is what they are making are statements. It doesn't necessarily mean it is a fact. It just means it is their statements, which is what we are uh, speaking about in this. But I do need a little help. So yesterday we finished off let me see here. March 7th, 2024, the Fox 17 interview, which was the hands. What was the next interview after the hands? Does anyone know what the next interview was? Dogs and Decor got it. That's awesome. Yeah, this year CrimeCon is in Nashville, which is literally 30 minutes or less from Chris and Katie's place. So I'm sure the TV interview. Well, we did the TV interview with the hands and the face. Wasn't it Smiley's? Let's check. Let's check. I mean, they don't have to specifically be in order, but I'm just trying to go in order. Let's see what that date was. That was March 20th. Did they not do an interview from Did they not do an interview from March 7th to March 20th? I think it might have been Olivia's. Let's check Olivia. Um Chronicles of Olivia. Love Olivia so much. She is such a beautiful soul, and so is her mother. I love her mommy. Always say that. She's such a good soul. Um okay, so that was Yep, it was Olivia's next. It was Chronicles of Olivia. Okay, so I need to share this. We will be putting Chronicles of Olivia in. All of these will be in the description. All these interviews on our series here. So let me drop Olivia's link here. Because she was in Tennessee. Yeah, when this was going on. Okay, I remember now. All right, Chronicles of Olivia. Link is in description. All right, here we go. Let's roll with it. All right. Now, if there is a statement or what have you that you think I missed, let me know. Let me know. Um, it we don't want something, we want them to say it on their own accord, right? So that's what we're looking for.
In today's video, I interviewed the mother and step.
Like to be dirty. It's kind of funny because he also doesn't have awareness. Because if you look, he's got chocolate milk on his face because he didn't wipe it off at breakfast. It's funny like that.
Bear with me.
Can you recap the overall story of Sebastian's disappearance? Kind of walk through that day.
Sunday, the day before he went missing, we got up and, fun fact, I made breakfast that morning.
Okay, so that would be fun fact, she made breakfast that morning. Hold on. What is the date here? This is the 18th, March 18th. So I need to put that in here. 3/18/24. Okay. And okay. So Katie made breakfast. Katie, fun fact, made breakfast that morning. Now, she always it's very interesting because I really feel that something happened to Sebastian on Sunday because she always says, "Fun fact, I made breakfast that morning." We're talking about Sunday. We're not talking about Monday morning when she woke up and didn't find him. Remember that? I mean, so she's always talking about Sunday. Well, Monday is when you actually found him missing. So I absolutely, in my opinion, think something happened Sunday evening. Absolutely. Absolutely. Carol, if you're on J for A, you can't like send super chats or become a member. You have to come over to Clutch Them Pearls. So I'm the J for A will be monetized again in just a couple days. So that's that. But thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. All right. And it's always about food. Yes. Yes. Um, so I need to put that in my notes. Fun fact, made breakfast, but she's talking about Sunday morning. Okay, let's go.
We had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. Uh,
Hold on, what did she say?
he talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag.
Talk to family on the phone, laughing, joking, talked to family on the phone. What did she say after talking to family on the phone? Let me turn the closed captions on, by the way.
Breakfast that morning. um, we had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. Um, we went and picked up our niece.
This was always interesting to me. I pointed this out a long time ago. Uh, Katie looks at Chris just like he was there. Watch her. And she's going to look at Chris and she's going to be like, so he can confirm it. And he's like this, and he looks up trying to recall. Yeah, the volume is a little low on this, but that's as high as I can get it.
Yeah, I got a call and
Picked up the niece. Picked up the niece. Pick up the niece. Okay.
asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that.
Hold on. I need to fix this banner because we can't see the. There we go. Could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we did. Okay. So picks up the niece. Got that.
We went to BJ's. Um, had a good time there. He ate a
Went to BJ's, had a good time there. Now, do you have a good time when you go to like BJ's and Sam's Club? Katie went to BJ's, had a good time. So it's very interesting this weekend that they had. It's all fun.
Colossal popcorn.
And of course, the colossal popcorn. Can't go without the colossal popcorn. Sebastian had a colossal popcorn.
Um, Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks
Snacks, because he's 15 and we got to have the snacks. So came home, put away groceries, snacks.
he's 15 and snacks. Um, we went to the bowling alley, and then from there we went
Okay, next is bowling alley. Then went to bowling alley. Okay.
to dinner.
Then went to dinner. Now, she doesn't talk about going back home. She doesn't talk about dropping her niece off. She doesn't talk about going to one of the neighbors' house. Why is it so hard for her to remember? You'd think she would remember. Isn't the similar? Yes, yes, Summer having a great day. I was thinking last night about how many children were found or left without their shoes, and it is incredible.
Home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can.
Okay, so went to dinner. Katie went to dinner, came home. Sebastian took out trash because that's his chore.
And to the end of the driveway.
End of driveway.
About 9 o'clock. Told him to go to bed.
Okay, 9 o'clock, go to bed, she told him. Katie accounts 9 o'clock Sunday, go to bed.
He's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama."
He comes out of his room. Good night, Mama. Comes out of his room. Good night, Mama and puppies.
Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed.
He
was
went to
doing something
bed.
in his room because about an hour later I heard some.
Okay, now this is very important right here. Very, very important. Because at an hour later, she says, she doesn't say anything about a thud, but she says, hour later, 1 hour later, she hears Sebastian. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later, I heard
noise, and I was like, I don't care what you
some noise. Let me write this verbatim. He was doing something in his room because an hour later, I heard him in his room. Now, hearing him in his room and a thud are completely different. Completely different. You know, you can hear someone walking around in their room, right? You can hear them playing video games. You can hear them talking on the phone. But there, you know, a thud would be something you would check on. Exactly, Olivia. Some noise is way different than a thud.
Doing in there, but go to sleep.
Okay. And I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, go to sleep. Now, that is, again, so different. Okay. Katie yells in room, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. Well, if you're telling him he should be asleep, then you do care what he was doing in there. Right? I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. Well, you do care what he's doing because he needs to be asleep. Now, I can't remember yesterday if she talked about any sound. I think this is the first interview that she did talking about hearing a sound in there that I'm aware of.
And about midnight, I got up.
Okay. So then about midnight I got
I
up
went to bed.
and I went to bed. So Katie, about midnight I got up and went to bed. So is Katie saying things settled down in there? This is the first time it was a sound.
6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school.
Okay, so she goes to bed at midnight, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. Monday morning. She goes to check on, she goes to wake Sebastian.
Monday morning, and that's when he wasn't here.
And that's when he wasn't in there. Okay. All right.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like, what were the feelings that you were feeling?
To censor myself. Holy freaking crap, this can't be happening. Where is my kid? Choice words were used. Like, where the F is he?
Holy freaking crap. That doesn't to me sound like a mother saying choice words were used. That sounds like she's making it up, in my opinion. It absolutely, in my opinion, sounds like she's making me the hand interviewed. And yeah, right.
I had looked through the house for it.
I had called my. That's interesting.
Is he? I had looked through the house.
I had called my. She stops. I no I called my dot dot dot. I had to look through the house. She was going to say something there, and she clearly switched it up very quickly. Bingo. Yes. So who did you call, Katie? So you're looking through the house. So Katie I had called and stops sentence and says, I had looked through the house. I had looked through the house. Okay?
For him because it was typical for him to get up and
For him, because it was typical for him to get up.
come and rummage for snacks and things.
Okay. Because it was typical for him to get up and rummage through the house and look for snacks and stuff. Now, I don't think he would be rummaging for snacks at 6 in the morning. People usually rummage for snacks at midnight, right? 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. But right before you're supposed to get up for school, that's not a time usually rummage for snacks. Truth prevails. Thank you so much, my friend, for your support. I find these specific times rehearsed and sus. I do too. I do too. But you're not going to be rummaging through stuff whenever at 6 o'clock in the morning before school. And he would be very hard to miss in the kitchen because she has to pass it and or go through that. She has to pass to the kitchen to get Sebastian. So why would she have to backtrack? Notice how she don't go to the bathroom to check or the garage. Correct. Very, very well stated. Yes. It's just breakfast. And she says he might be getting breakfast or whatever. But again, she would have seen him. She would have heard him. Because the kitchen is on more of her side of the house. Get your cough drops ready, y'all.
Like that, and he likes to dip behind the walls and watch, and
It likes to dip behind walls. Katie. He likes to dip behind walls and watch. Okay.
and then he comes out after I come back, and he likes to scare me. But
And scare me. Okay.
after I looked, and I mean,
Look at the pause there. She literally has to think this through.
after I looked, and I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat.
Okay. So after she looks, it takes about a minute. She looks. Katie's looking. After she looks, takes about a minute. Now, this is where things start really getting uncomfortable in this interview. She's going to start recalling. And the other day, I was the first one to say, she's doing this. I know a lot of people made videos on it, but she's doing this.
But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband.
She was like hollering, like hollering. People don't like holler. They either holler or they don't holler.
And then I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean?
Okay, so then she calls her husband. Katie calls husband, says, I can't find him. Not I can't find Sebastian. I can't find him. Just can't find him. Well, who can't you find?
And I said, he's not in this effing house.
Chris says, Katie says, Chris states, what do you mean? And then Katie replies, he's not in this effing house.
House. I can't find our son. And
I can't find our son. 1 second, y'all. I need to fix something. Katie, I can't find our son.
I jumped in my car and
I jumped in my car.
drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the
So then Katie states, Katie, quote, jumps in her car.
school.
She drove at the neighborhood and by the school. Drives through neighborhood and the school. Okay.
And he's already
Okay. This is very important right here. And he's already. Who's he? Who is he? We need to know who he is, Katie. Because Chris needs a cough drop when you say this. It didn't alert a lot of people because I went live early. Yes, and this is where she starts the cutthroat motion. And he's already. Get it? And he's already. Who's he? And why are you doing this? Chris knows that she can't do a lot of talking. That's why, because she's easy. Let me tell you something. She's easy to read. So we need to. And I drove by the school and he's already. Thing. Katie. And I drove by the school and he's already. Okay, insert Chris cough. Here we go.
at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying.
And at this point, she was hysterical. She was crying. Katie. At this point, she's hysterical and crying. I just noticed something. 1 second here. Need to go back. 402, 354.
And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school and he's already like at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming.
Okay. Look at those blinks. Look at those blinks right there, right after the he's already. Double blinks.
And I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school and he's already like at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming, and he was like, um, he was like, well, and he's already like at
Blink,
this point
blink,
I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was
blink.
screaming, and
Now Katie's going to get anxiety here. She's already losing the story. She's losing it right here. But that cough gives her even more anxiety than she already has at the moment. Now she's going to tap and recall. That's what you do. Tap and recall. Hold on, let me take this thing off 1 second.
he was like, um,
Okay. I was crying and I was screaming and he was like,
uh,
okay. We got the and he was like again. Here we go. We got the and he was crying again. And he was like, who is this he, Katie? Who is this he? Why do you keep saying he was like? Because it clearly, you clearly rather, keep saying he was like. Who is he? That's what we need to know. Because it sounds like someone, in my opinion, may have been assisting. This is the second or third time he was like
three-way. He
screaming. And he was like three-way. Like three-way. And then she repeats it again. Here we go.
like, um, uh, three-way. He three-way.
Screaming and screaming and he was like three-way. He three-wayed. Well, okay.
Law enforcement, and was telling them like our son is missing.
Three-way. And we called, or he called law enforcement and told them our son was missing. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm getting my notes here, guys. Got to start a new page. All right. Copy. There we go. Okay. Enforcement and telling them like our son is missing.
Missing, and we don't know what's going on. And he was
And we don't know what's going on. And he was.
Like, go back to the house. They're on their way.
Now that's very important too.
Three-way. He's saying we don't know what's going on.
Hold on.
Law enforcement, and was telling them like our son
He was telling our son was missing,
is missing.
and we
We don't know what's going on, and he
don't know what's going on. Now this is important.
he was like, go back to the
And he was like, go back to
house.
the house. Now that's the part I don't understand. Thank you so very much, my dear. Love breaking down the body language. It says a lot. Sure does. Just chilling. Thank you so much for your support. Just chilling just became a member. Y'all, please welcome Just Chillin'. Pearls look amazing on you, Just Chillin'. Thank you so much for your support. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Did they sleep for the first week? Don't know. But this is very important to me. What's going on? And he was like, go back to the house. I don't know why he would say, go back to the house. They are coming. Because you're on the phone with them, Katie. Remember, you're on a three-way call. So why would Chris need to tell you to go back to the house? Why? You're on a three-way call. He doesn't need to tell you. They're going to say, go back to the house. We're on our way. Chris doesn't need to tell you that.
House. They're on their way, and I ran back. Well,
Go back to the house. He told me to go back to the house. They're on their way. Katie. Chris told Katie to go back to the house. They are on the way. So why would Chris need to tell you that you need to go to the house whenever you are on the three-way call? That makes no sense. If I'm on the phone with Hey Jude, if I'm on the phone with Hey Jude, and we're in a similar situation as Katie and Chris, even though he's 3 hours away, and law enforcement tells me to go back to the house. Why would Hey Jude tell me to go back to the house? They just told me to go back to the house. And why call the sheriff's office that is closed and you can get a recording that repeats? Is he there in his vehicle with her? I don't know. I don't think he's there with her at this time. I really don't think he's there with her at this time. Because that was at 6 a.m. Because like if he left at 6 in the morning, he wouldn't be there till like 9:30 if he did a straight shot. And he supposedly was there at 5:15 in the morning, which again has not been verified. That is a rumor that he was there at 5:15 in the morning. Well, he was seen at 5:15. That's what everyone says, but how do we know that? How do we know that? Who said that? Police did not arrive until after 7 a.m. Yeah, because it was like 6:36. Thank you, Candace, my dear. Appreciate you. And then she says, then I ran back, not drove back. Yes. Yeah. And, you know, personally, I don't, because she lives in Tennessee, I think that is an Appalachian thing. It's a, because we'll say I ran to the grocery store. I ran and got some milk. We'll say that as a figure of speech, but it could be um she used he a lot here. Yes. Chris Proudfoot was already on the phone. PI said he was there at 5:15. Which PI? Which PI? And I'm gonna need I need a receipt for that. You know what I mean? Like I need a receipt that the PI shows that there's a recording, the boss saying if he was there at 5:15, why is he there so early?
Drove back to the house, and
It's very interesting how she says ran back and then she says drove.
20 days later, we haven't found him.
Now, I want to show you something here. One second. Anxiety there, a bunch of anxiety. Okay. She just had a hell of a bunch of anxiety there. Remember, she's doing this and this. I want you to watch her mouth. Watch her mouth. She takes a deep breath in and then she goes, you know, when we're trying to release that anxiety, we all do it. It is human nature. You do it, I do it. Watch this. Watch her. Because she's had all this anxiety where she knows she's fucked up. She knows she fucked up doing all this stuff, right? Now watch her lips.
And
Here we go. There you go.
20 days later, we haven't found him.
And she cuts it off with a generic, very generic 20 days later, we haven't found him. No duh. But that is just a way to end this sentence as quick as possible and to relieve the anxiety. Yes, and she's rocking lightly. Watch this again.
On their way, and I ran back, drove back to the house, and
Here we go.
20 days later, we haven't found him.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
20 days later, and
Breath.
20 days later, we haven't found him.
20 days later, we haven't found him. Criminal Med, thank you, baby. Joining the train today. Thank you, Justin. Chat. Thank you so much, Criminal Med. I appreciate your support so much. That means so much to me. Jamette, thank you, my dear. Thank you for your support. Thank you, my dear. Woke up at 6 a.m., looked all over the house, got in the car, drove to the school, called law enforcement, all this in 36 minutes. Can you make that drive in 36 minutes round trip? What do you mean make that drive in 36 minutes? Like woke up, like can she wake up, look around the house, drive over to the school and called law enforcement in 36 minutes round trip? I think you can, if that's what you mean. Yeah, because the school's just right there. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think you can. I would think so. I would think so. But this is something, and you heard it here first, that I want people to understand. Law enforcement law enforcement says that they have no evidence. Heard it here first. That they have no evidence of Sebastian leaving the house, right? But you know what they haven't said or haven't stated? They didn't say they don't have evidence of anyone else leaving that house that night. And that is what I would like Nick Barris or one of them to ask the next press conference. Do you have any evidence of anyone, Katie, anyone leaving the house on the night Sebastian went missing? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. Well, okay. And the thing is, they could have in this speculation that I am getting ready to talk about, speculation, make it very clear. They can say that they have nothing on Sebastian leaving that house. And that's absolutely true. But speculating, let's say Katie or someone took him out of the garage. Well, they just know that someone left in a car, which is an adult, left that car, speculating, that night at some point, that morning, some point. And they can say, and no, that's why nobody has asked, did anyone leave the house? Ask authorities. Well, can you tell us, did anyone leave that house on the night of Sebastian disappeared? And they would still have no indication that Sebastian was in the car. Because guess what? It is not illegal for Chris or Katie to get in their car at 3 a.m. and go anywhere. It's not illegal. You can get in your car at 3 a.m. from your house and drive Timbuktu, drive down the store, come back, stay at your house 15 minutes and leave again. Come back, stay at your house an hour, leave again. You can leave as many times as you want to at night, anytime. So that is why I would love for Nick Barris or one of them to ask, is there any evidence at all that anyone in that house left that home in a car on the night Sebastian went missing? Law enforcement said the same for Summer, that she did not leave the Ben Hill property. Now law enforcement has no evidence that Sebastian left the house. And this is the thing. They can know that Sebastian was taken out of that house, but if they don't have evidence, right? They can't say anything, right? They can be like, "Oh, for instance, speculating here. Oh, well, Katie left at 3 a.m. in her car. We know Katie is driving the car, but we don't know what happened inside that garage. And Sebastian is missing now, and we have no indication that he walked out. There's not a scent. There's not anything on camera other than Katie leaving at 3 in the morning, for instance. No, Katie's car is not electric. No. No. Janice, thank you so much for your support, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Law enforcement is looking at all license plate readers very carefully, in my opinion. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Ramona, are you having a bad storm, honey? Be careful. Please be careful. They need to bring them both in for questioning, again, separately. But this is the thing. This is the thing. They don't have to speak, and it can't be held against them. Listen, if you go, I mean, let's be honest, guys. We hate it in these situations where we think that someone knows more. Reno, hey. But the thing is, when we are in that situation, like, even if we're innocent, especially, and people are law enforcement's trying to pressure us, we don't have to talk, and it cannot be held against you that you don't talk. It cannot be held against you that you don't talk, that you don't speak. That's just the way it is. They got to prove it. It's the burden of proof is on the state or law enforcement, right? So there's that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how stressful that is. And also, like when we were driving up here, like this neighborhood is so pretty and nice. And do you think, has he ever like walked away before, or like has that ever happened? It's just
No.
no, first time.
He's not a child that wanders. He's not one that is
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper, which is common. And I have friends.
Okay. Let me go back here. Happened. It's just no. First time. He's not a child that wonders. Okay. Chris says
he's not
that wonders.
one
He's
that
not one that is.
He doesn't.
Okay, let me write this down. Chris. He's not a child that wonders. Okay.
Have a history of being an eloper, which
Katie, he doesn't have a history of being an eloper. He doesn't have a history of being an eloper.
which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum.
which is common because she has friends. Which is common because she has friends with children on the spectrum.
Who do struggle with elopement with their children, but no, Sebastian, that's one thing, has always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner.
That's one thing, has always been a blessing. One thing that's always been a blessing. Okay.
His primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues
So his primary, okay,
and things like that.
that's important. Katie, his primary are social and emotional.
But he's very smart. He's functional.
Smart, functional.
Overall, he's a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache. But
Okay, this is important right here. Let's go
he's
back.
a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones.
He's pretty happy. He's a teenager. He's coming into hormones. Okay. Katie, he's pretty happy. He's a teenager that's coming into hormones. It's interesting how she keeps talking in different interviews, which we'll see, how he keeps talking about him, hitting puberty, right? He's getting angry. He'll get in your face. I'm not going to just barge in on his door because he could be doing something which was very uncalled for. Which is very uncalled for. So she keeps talking about how he's changing.
He's angry that he's growing a mustache.
His hormones, and she equates hormones with anger. His hormones, he's angry. He's angry. He's growing a mustache. Okay.
Mustache, but for the most part, he's a happy kid. And
What are your theories? Like, I'm sure your mind has thought of every possible thing that could have happened, but is there any theory that you can talk about that you think?
What I can tell you is with all law enforcement, with everybody that's involved, there's nothing that's been eliminated. Everything is on the table. Everything is being looked at from every possible aspect.
everything from he got out and walked away and was outside of the search radius.
Okay. Theories. Okay, Chris.
Everything is being looked at.
Everything's being looked at. Looked at all possibilities. Okay.
From every possible aspect.
Everything from he got out and walked away and was outside of the search radius.
Everything, Katie interjects, that he got anything possible, that he got out and walked away and was outside of the radius. Everything that he got out of the search radius. Okay.
Radius before we started searching.
Before we started searching. Now, that's to me, that's interesting. Thinking out loud, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Means so much, my dear. Outside of the radius. Yes. Outside of the radius. To me, that's stating that he's outside of the radius. Yes. Thinking out loud, you look amazing in pearls. You look amazing in pearls, darling. Well, according to Katie, she was searching just after 6 in the morning.
To the worst.
Okay. Searching to the worst.
And
that's currently where we're at. I mean,
Currently where we're at. Okay.
it's
really trying not to go down that road because
well,
we're gonna find him.
speculating causes problems.
Okay. So they go from what their theories is to Chris is going to start talking about speculation and that they are cleared from any possible wrongdoing. It's interesting how she was just asking her theories, right? Just asking theories. That's all. Jill, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chris said the mom called me and asked, I can't find him. What did Katie really ask him? Good question. Very good question. I think he's talking about YouTubers and TikTokers and all of that. Justin, have you heard that Tony is now taking tips? I just texted you a link. Yes, I did. I did. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Assumptions cause issues.
Okay. Chris. Speculation causes issues. Assumptions. Okay.
And based on facts of what everybody knows, right now, there's nothing, and everything is still on the table to being looked at.
We just know he's out there somewhere.
And we just know he's out there somewhere.
One other question I have is recently Channel 5 in Nashville, they had security footage that showed 2 flashlights the night he disappeared. Is there anything that you think about this video or?
Sure. So there's a lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet.
What do you mean WTAF? What the actual F? Is that what that means? Check it. I can go ahead and do it. Oh, thank you, Don. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my love. Justin, did you mention Chris McDonough's live tonight with Steve Johnson? Yes. Yes, 8 p.m. Not gonna miss that. I got a tip for him. How about he stops believing everything that someone tells him? How about that?
Okay. And that is
Another tip is call 1-800-TBI-FINE. That video that is floating.
Exactly what it is. It's speculations.
Okay.
Now, what it can give you an official statement.
All right. Now, Chris, I can give you an official statement. Let's hear it, Chris.
On is TBI Newslink has released
On his TBI News link. Okay.
a statement from law enforcement between local law enforcement, state
Local, state law enforcement.
law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not. Um, I'm not going to go into details as far as where that video is shot from.
Why? Why does it matter if it's where it's shot from if there's nothing there? Love. He says as much as we would love for it to be something, it's not. I'm not going to go into detail about where it was shot from.
But I can tell you, as the parents, we have seen the video firsthand from law enforcement. We know exactly where it was taken from.
So do we.
And nothing that is being assumed right now is actually true about that video, unfortunately. And anything about any other videos or anything like that, please refer to the TBI News link that they have out there, the updated Amber Alert stuff, and it will give you the most up-to-date information that all law enforcement has, and they will give you current as far as what's what and how they're looking at things.
And if there's any new video, forward it to them.
Please.
Yeah. Security
Okay.
footage is really like a game changer. We're working on Riley's strain.
Thank you so much, SL. He refers to everyone in third person stream. Yes. Jill, thank you so much. I don't read this. Chris said the mom called me and asked. I can't find him. What did? Oh yeah, I read that one. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Tony walk away from missing persons cases. Period. Yeah. Hey Annette, good to see you, dear.
And trying to find like if someone missed one on a corner or something. So that's
around this neighborhood, and this whole community. I mean, I can tell you that much here. When it comes to the cameras, there has not been one person that has said no. And trust me, it is greatly felt that everybody has been so open, so helpful in pushing out any which way they can. I mean, there's been some families that have actually been on vacation that weren't home, and they got they got permission from that family to take a look at their cameras and go in their houses without them even being present, which has been amazing. So, yeah.
that's good. If there was something that you could say to Sebastian if he was listening, what would you say?
Oh God. That if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby, and we
Thank you,
love
Sarah.
you. And there ain't nothing gonna stop us from
Okay,
coming.
this is important.
That if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby.
Okay. Very important. Katie, if you can see this or hear this, there's nothing that's going to stop us. Sorry, if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby. Sorry, not we just want you home, baby. Then she says there's nothing going to stop us, I believe. 1 second. Okay.
And we love you. And there ain't nothing gonna stop us from coming and getting you and bringing you home.
From coming and getting you and bringing you home. From coming and getting you and bringing you home. Okay.
I can't speak for his father, but
I can't speak for the father. Chris.
I'm pretty sure we all have the same opinion that we love you, miss you.
We love you. We miss you. Okay.
We want you home.
We want you home.
If you can, call us.
We love you. We miss you. We want you home. And if you can, call us.
Get wherever you can. Let us know. And
Get wherever you can.
we will come get you.
And we'll come get you. Crap. Hold on, guys. I just got out of my program. I just exited out on accident. Let's see here. Okay. He said, wherever you. Let us know and we will come get you.
Call 911, run out into the street, go in public.
Katie says, run out into the street, go in
Anything.
public,
The sign.
anything. Run out into the street, go in public.
That we've been blessed to have family, friends, and even some in the community that have been helping us, but we've been out spreading those as far as we can, even over state lines.
I think that's interesting when she says even over state lines.
Trying to get awareness because, not everybody knows that he's missing and there's.
Woohoo! Free to be me. Thank you so much for gifting. Yay. Thank you, Free to be me. If you received that membership, pearls look amazing on you. And please thank Free to be me for gifting a membership. Appreciate it. We are having a membership live tonight after Chris McDonough from the interview room. So make sure you join us for that as well. If you're not a member, you can still watch it. You just can't chat. Spirit, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you, my dear, for gifting one membership. If you received that membership, please thank our sweet Spirit Seeker. Spirit Seeker and I were going to be doing some things upcoming together. So you'll want to definitely see that. Thank you so much. All right. Holly, yes. Yay. Thank you for another deep dive. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support. You're gonna need a nap today. It's a packed day. It certainly is. Certainly is. All right. Thank you, my dear. Okay. Because you know not everybody knows that he's missing.
There's a chance that if someone could see him and not even realize who he is. So we want to get his face out there because we want him home.
Surprisingly, even locally, there are some folks that
Uh, Laura, if you're on Justice for All channel, mods, can you put a link to Clutch Them Pearls in the J for A chat so they can join in my other chat? Thank you, love. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Has anyone saw them putting up, handing out flyers? No. They say that they have. I don't believe them personally. And the reason is I think there would have been pictures. Someone would have taken a picture of them. I think CPS is investigating them. That's how they won. Yeah. Yep. I think that's why they very, very much likely. I'll just say
I
that.
don't even know what's going on, and it's kind of like a shocker. Like, how do you not know? You know, it is amazing because in
He's
the
going to talk
past
about
couple weeks, you've got two cases. A 15-year-old boy that has vanished without a trace. You've got a 22-year-old, 6 foot 4 or 7 college kid from Missouri who has vanished without a trace. Like, that's a huge significance here. That it's like, wow, how? So
that's right,
That's
Arctic.
scary.
yeah,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, the college kid is from Missouri, I think.
Yeah, Missouri.
I can only imagine what his family is going through.
It's like your worst nightmare come alive.
Do you guys receive hate on the
That,
internet?
yes, and it's ongoing. It's every single day. Um, People are people, and they have their opinions. Um, Everybody is formulating their idea of what's going on and who's guilty and who's not guilty because they want to know or they feel they need to know. There's a difference. Unfortunately, what I will tell you is that when you're the family in this position and you're working with law enforcement and everything's going the way it goes, people automatically assume this parent or that parent. And in this situation, I can promise you,
Okay. This is very important. Well, I can show you statistics that literally 99% of the time it is the mother, the father, or both parents. Generally the mother. But we need to do this. Chris. People automatically assume that it's this parent or that parent. Okay.
that parent. And in this situation, I can promise you,
And in this situation, I can promise you
every single parent has been vetted.
every single parent has been vetted. And then he says, we have been vetted. Now, he says, yes, 99, most of the time people assume it's the parents. But in this situation, I can promise you that every parent has been vetted.
I can't go into details, but
Oh, he says, I can't go into details, but we have been vetted. I can't go into details. I can't go into details. Why can't you go into details? Why can't you go into details? It has nothing to do with.
but I can tell you we have been vetted and we have been cleared.
And we have been cleared. We have been cleared. Now, Katie is looking down at this. Looking down. She doesn't feel confident, in my opinion. She's looking down. If you are confident that you've been cleared, yeah, we've been cleared.
Of all possibility of wrongdoing,
Of all possibility of wrongdoings,
foul play, there's nothing
foul play, and there's nothing
to that.
to that.
Um, we've heard all kinds of stories.
I pretty much don't even go online anymore.
Katie's like, I pretty much don't even go online anymore.
Or at this point,
I, on the other hand, I do go on and I do talk to these folks and I want them to understand they have this formulated opinion on who we are, not who we truly are. They've never met us. We've never crossed paths with some of these folks. But I have told them online, if you want to know, just ask me.
Well, Chris, I want to know, Chris, if you want to know, just ask.
I'll answer your questions to the best of what I can.
You'll answer your questions to the best of what I can.
There are some things that I cannot give you.
There are some things I cannot give you. Now, law enforcement is not going to tell them a single thing more than they are going to tell us. They're not going, because they're suspects. All three parents are potential suspects. What about the abuse? Why can't law enforcement pick them up for that, Justin? I mean, CPS usually doesn't charge. They usually doesn't charge.
Because law enforcement has dictated that we are not.
Okay. This is interesting because law enforcement have dictated us not
To provide certain information.
Provide certain information. I don't believe him personally,
But I will try.
but he's going to try. Okay.
I am direct. I am brash, but I am very respectful.
Chris. I'm direct. I'm brash, but I'm very respectful. Yeah.
So if you have questions, ask. I'll give you what I can. Just be respectful, please. And keep in mind, there's
Yep.
3 parents and there's thousands and millions of people out there that may have a question. We are trying to get to them. I promise you.
How has your guys' life been affected by this? Like, I know that's a broad question, but what's like when you wake up in the morning, what's it just like?
Miserable, to be honest with you.
Think of it like this: you wake up every morning and your routine is what it is, and you know it, right? Now wake up when this happens and you can't figure out what to do. You struggle every single day on trying to get out of the bed, to deal and face everybody's negativity, and you try to make it a positive thing.
Or the fact that my son's still not home.
We have a bedroom that's empty that is never normally ever empty.
We have a bedroom that's empty that is never normally empty.
Except for when he's with his dad every other weekend. So now we have a child that's missing. So there's no words to describe it, but I can just tell you it's like you get up and now you don't know what to do.
Sebastian's parents also talked about environment.
Sebastian hasn't been on his medication in 20 days.
Katie is just looking down. No confidence, right? His room. Yes.
So he is rambunctious.
Okay. So he's saying since Sebastian has not had his medicine in 20 days, he's rambunctious. Sebastian has not had his medicine in 20 days. So he's rambunctious. Okay.
He's gonna be hungry. He turns into a bottomless pit.
He's got to be hungry. There we go with food again, right? He turns into a bottomless pit. Turns into a bottomless pit. There was some food issues in that house. Some food issues in that house. Yeah.
I mean, he's your teenage boy, always hungry.
Teenage boy. He's a teenage boy, always hungry. Always hungry.
On the spectrum, yes. But not one autistic child in this world is like another one. What we can tell you is he's smart. He can be goofy. Um, he kind of has issues with personal space.
He's smart. He can be goofy. He can be goofy. He kind of has issues with personal space.
He hasn't mastered.
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
He hasn't mastered. He's up in your face kind of kid. He hasn't mastered. He's up in your face kinda kid. All right. Sorry, guys. I need to switch over because I'm on a new page. Well, damn it. 1 second. Okay. Now, Katie's getting ready to interject. I think so. I think so.
He can be aggressive if he's upset.
Katie, he can be aggressive if he's upset. Katie. He can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a
Chris. This is very interesting to me. He's emotional. He's a teenager. Where is this coming from? Right? Where is this coming from? We're going to get to a interview here in a little bit where Chris says, Sebastian thought he was going to get me kicked out of my house. Really? Seems like there was some tug of war. It really is, Beck. I mean, most of our houses, doesn't matter who you are. If you're a guest, mi casa, su casa, right? You feed anybody, everybody.
teenager. He's
He
got
doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he
No.
gets really
Okay,
like aggressive.
Katie, he doesn't. Hold on.
he's emotional. He's a teenager. He's
He
got
doesn't like punch and
He doesn't like
hit
punch
and throw.
and hit and throw. Katie. He doesn't like punch and hit or throw,
But he
No.
gets really like aggressive stance.
but he gets really aggressive stance. He gets aggressive stance. How many of y'all think that would fly well with Chris if Sebastian got an aggressive stance? I don't think it would go very good. I don't know about you, but I don't think it would go very good. Look at that look on his face. Is that what he saw, Chris? Is that what he saw? Look at that look. He's got his face like that.
Or like clipped where he just won't talk to you
Or clipped where he just won't talk to you. Katie. Just won't talk to you. Watch Chris's face.
if he's really upset, he like growls.
If he's really upset, he growls. Okay.
he. Oh man.
Watch him.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Share, look, pay
Be
attention.
vigilant. You know, and we don't expect everybody to stop what they do and spend every waking minute. But you would be surprised on how easily people are complacent and not realize certain things. We're all guilty because we're all human. We all live a daily life. But sometimes just being a little bit extra vigilant,
Aware of your surroundings in case there's something suspicious.
you never know. But don't ever stop is all we ask. Please keep looking, keep searching. Anything, reach out. You know, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely, keep his story in the spotlight, and all it takes is for one person to see something or know something, and
That's all we need is just
that's just
one clue.
that one clue.
The old saying, see something, say something.
And a few others, but we're working with everyone we can. And taking, like, some people have been kind and reached out with resources that I didn't know were out there, and I've reached out to all of them. Truckers Against Trafficking, we reached out to them just in case.
Biker world,
Yeah, the crane on the desk.
that's one thing everybody has in common is their love for a child, and they can't stand to see children missing, hurt, and it doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what group it is. That's one commonality between every group, and that's why, as a part of being in that world, we go and we utilize our brothers and sisters to help spread that word. You'd be surprised on how easy it is to spot somebody. This
On how easy it is to spot
the
somebody.
biker. So
What is our next
How can
interview?
people help?
this community, I'm gonna
Was Smiley the next interview? Yes, guys, please hit the thumbs up button if you're just coming in. Greatly appreciate it. Chris says all the things. Yeah, that's why they weren't at the bike run, huh? They didn't go to the bike thing or anything like that. Nope. Oh yeah, he tries to be a know-it-all for sure. Nothing. Katie was on the phone first thing in the morning on Sunday morning. She lives on that phone, goes out to dinner, is on her it is on her hand. She's on Messenger video chat. Is the next one Smiley's? Is that one it? What date was this? March 20th. Yep. Okay. Now we're doing Smiley's story. Now this one gets interesting. And this is 320 320 24. Okay. Are y'all ready? Batten down the hatches. Now, Chris, so they did not ride individual? No. No. Chris and Katie, they haven't been to any of them. So it was Josh, Trevor, Smiley, and myself. We were all on a panel together on this channel. And Chris got very triggered. Very triggered. And he invited him to come up here with us. He did not come up. He would not come up, but he said he would come up the next day. Right? And he didn't. but he wanted to go over to Smiley's channel instantly. So I ended my live and went over to Smiley's. I don't know. He just didn't ride. So he was triggered on this. Mods, please put Smiley's.
Never in my
channel.
life would I have ever dreamed that this would be a reality.
Yes, ma'am. I don't think anybody ever thinks this will happen to them. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Yeah, you surprised me calling me. You surprised me calling me, but I'm glad
He won't talk to a guy. Not unless they agree with him 100%.
I could bring you on and you know, hopefully, talk about this. A lot of people's just interested. I know it's
Did he do another live with Duchess? Is that what? Let's see. Let me see if he did another live with Duchess. Let me see here. 17th. Oops, I think he might have done it for 17. Yep, you are right. Hello? Yes. Yeah.
okay, and they weren't was I don't know, I can't remember which shirts they were, but there were three of them.
Uh-huh.
One of them he was supposedly wearing. Okay, how come they haven't went through the laundry or his clothes and find out which one's missing?
They said there was too many of them for, they wouldn't know. It would just be one of
they
three.
wouldn't know.
That's what they said. That's what Chris and
Okay.
Katie said.
Yeah, okay. I was curious about that because that didn't sound right. And then another thing is, when he mentioned all that they checked was all the sewer pipes and all that,
Uh-huh.
what about, and he said, well, they wouldn't check the sewer because they were sealed. That doesn't mean nothing. They pop up.
Absolutely.
So why wouldn't they check that?
Right. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
isn't-
sure that they've checked everything. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry, but I think poor Sebastian, oh, it makes me upset just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's going to come back alive unless the stupid parents of Chris Proudfoot took him like he did with Nina's kids.
Time will tell.
Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Bye-bye. Not really taking calls right now, guys. Chris did not know the term storm drains. Okay. All right. So credit goes to Duchess discussion. Her link is in the description. We are using this for commentary purposes, used under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for commentary, news reporting, criticism, research, educational, teaching purposes. Link is provided in the description for the full interview without my commentary. All right. Here we go.
Just talk about your stepson Sebastian missing. Katie joined. It seems like it's been a rough week. Yes. And I just appreciate you taking the time to things that you want. I appreciate you taking just trying to think where I want to start. I know to this
Let's
case
start with the
questions
start.
that we are going to ask that we've covered all of and has already. So we appreciate everyone for your
Let me find out where they
patience.
start.
And, we just ask
Everybody that has contributed and been a part of this from the start to current.
y'all are very much appreciated in the chat. You have to know that it means so much to them because these billboards, and listen, Chris, also, if there is another location that you and Katie would like to have a billboard, you can, let me know and I'll be happy to get another billboard going. If there's a location that you are interested in, you can just reach out
This one's not as a popular interview
to me
that I'm aware of.
sometime this week and I can look into it. If you think there's another location that would be
See if
good
they
and we
say
can get
anything.
another one going up, just let me know and we'll make it
Yes,
happen.
ma'am.
Okay. So, besides gaming, what are other things that Sebastian likes to do?
He likes to fish. He loves to play on playgrounds.
We get the little kid crafts from Lowe's and Home Depot, so he likes to build little things with me.
That's really cool. And you said that Sebastian didn't really have a lot of friends. He didn't really have any friends. He has a couple of friends at school. Do you think it's possible that, and which you told me before you didn't think so, but do you think there's any way possible that he could have met a friend online, either at school or at his father's or at your house? Do you think that's possible in any way?
There's always a possibility. That is a question that I can.
Always a possibility.
There's always a possibility that a child can do something. Now, from my best recollection,
Did Chris raise Sebastian? Help? I mean,
mom's best recollection,
he helped support.
and the father's best recollection,
Not that we know.
not
did
that
help
we know
support.
of. Our house, as we've stated, it is strict. It stays locked down with that kind of situation.
Okay. Chris. House is strict. Stays locked down. And then he also says that he likes to craft.
We use internet time and gaming as like a positive reinforcement rather than a free access.
Okay.
TBI is, not just TBI, but all law enforcement agencies involved are actually anything and everything which way they can. They are doing their best to investigate, look, search, any little thing. And right now we got no luck.
Okay. Katie, can you walk us through, for anyone that's new to this case that may be just finding out about Sebastian being missing, can you walk us through what happened on Sunday, like before Sebastian, went missing? Can you walk everybody through that and what led up to you finding out that Sebastian was missing?
Yeah. Sunday morning, I'll just start at the morning. Sunday morning, we got
Let me see if I can get closed captions on.
up and I made a fun breakfast.
Sunday morning, we got up and I made a fun breakfast.
Best for us. Spaghetti pancakes.
Okay, spaghetti pancakes. Okay. Katie. Sunday morning, fun breakfast. Made spaghetti pancakes. Okay.
Thanks. Google it, y'all.
Google it, y'all, she said.
We FaceTime family while we were eating so he could brag because that's
Okay. FaceTime family. FaceTime family so he could brag. Interesting.
something he likes to do. And we were laughing and joking on FaceTime and having a good time with that. After breakfast, we got a call to go pick up our niece.
Okay. After breakfast, got a call. Got a call to go pick up our niece. Okay.
And go take her to meet up. So we did that. We went and picked.
And go take her to meet up. Where were they meeting
her
up?
up, and we met her mom at BJ's.
And we met her mom at BJ's. BJ's.
And we were there with family members. We come home and put our groceries away.
Okay. They come home. Come home and put groceries away. Okay.
And then a little bit later, we went to the bowling alley, a local bowling alley here, and
Okay. A little bit earlier. Or a little bit later. Little bit later, they go to bowling alley. She didn't mention about going because they went to some house after that. Spaghetti pancakes is funnel cake. Who brags about having breakfast? I don't know.
we played games. And then and this is just Bubba and I, and we went to dinner, just the two of us, and then come home.
Okay, and then she says, and this is just Bubba and I, and we went to dinner. Okay, then Bubba and I went to dinner, and then we come home. Now, when did the niece and all of them leave? You know, that would have been nice to know, in my opinion. I don't know about you, but that would be nice to know.
He took the trash out because that's his chore, and
Takes the trash out. Ashton takes the trash out. Okay. That's his chore. Okay.
he come in and he was playing in his room until bedtime.
Okay. Comes in. He was playing in his room till bedtime. She gonna say what time bedtime is?
And at bedtime, I told him, I said, "Hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed." And he goes, "Okay, good night, Mom."
Okay, she says, "Hey, Bubba." Tells Sebastian, "Hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed." And he says, "Okay."
"Mama, I love you." And then he said goodnight to his puppies. And
Mama love you. And then Mama love you. Then says goodnight to puppies.
he went to bed.
Okay. And walk me through what happened. You said that you were on a phone call, you were on the couch, and then you went to bed at midnight. Walk me through exactly what transpired during that time before you went to bed at midnight for you.
So, well, my husband, he works out of town a lot. So,
Hold on.
well, my husband,
During that time before you went to exactly what transpired during that time before you went to bed at midnight for you.
so, well, my husband, he works out of town a lot. So, we normally sit and talk every evening, and I normally fall asleep.
I think what Duchess is trying to say is like, she's wanting to know what happened during the evening, but Katie, she just talks about what happened with her. She didn't say did Sebastian brush his teeth? Did he take a shower?
Sleep on him. And he'll tell me, "Wake up, you gotta go to bed." And and that was right around midnight. So I got up and I put the puppies up and I went to bed myself at midnight. And
Okay, so she says her and Chris were talking on the phone. Go back here.
up and I went to bed right around midnight. Gotta go to bed. And he'll tell me, "Wake up." Sleep on him. Sit and talk every evening. And I normally fall asleep on him. And he'll tell me, "Wake up, you gotta."
So imagine this. So is Chris just there yapping the entire time and she's like going to sleep? Is that what this kind of relationship it is? Is he just like, "Yeah, well, this and this and this and this and this and this," and then he stops talking? "Are you there?" Is that what happens? Okay, so Chris is talking. Chris will tell her to get up and go to bed.
I go to bed. And and that was right around midnight.
Okay. And that was around midnight.
So I got up and I put the puppies up and I went to bed.
So Katie, she puts the puppies up.
Myself at midnight. And
And I went to bed myself. Hold on.
he's up and I went to bed myself at midnight.
I went to bed myself at midnight. Katie, I went to bed myself at midnight.
And I went to sleep, obviously. And then At 6 a.m., I went to wake him up for school, and that's when
Okay. And I went to sleep, obviously. Then at 6 a.m., I went to wake him up. Not Sebastian. I went to wake him.
I couldn't find him. And sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time.
And couldn't find him. Okay.
Take your time. Tell me, did Sebastian take any type of medication before he went to bed, or that would make him sleepy, or if he did take medication, it was just in the morning, or did he take medication at night before he went to bed?
He did take medication nightly and daily.
Okay.
Okay. Chris. Sebastian took medication nightly and daily. Interesting.
Okay.
For HIPAA reasons, we will not disclose
I
what the
understand.
medication is.
I was
HIPAA. He's not pervy to it, y'all.
just trying to think, if there was something that might have made him sleepy, like if he would have woken up, all these different questions that people have asked. So,
right.
But you don't have to disclose any particular. Nobody needs to know that, specifically. I just wanted to ask.
She did mention that YouTuber.
Do you feel any particular way? Do you have any thoughts about Sebastian's disappearance? Do you feel that he may have walked off?
I mean, if he took his medication at 9 o'clock or right before 9 o'clock, and she didn't hear a thud on this one or anything yet.
Seen a lot of people in chat saying that he went out
interview.
the window versus he went out the door. How did the door get locked? That you found the door locked. Can you walk me through exactly what that looks like and what you found? Was the door locked? What do you think may have occurred for him walking off versus
Hungry HIPAA.
Well, I tell you
that he's
this.
with someone? Okay.
We didn't find any signs of the windows, but
Okay. Katie, we didn't find any signs of the windows. That's interesting.
and without disclosing the details of my door locks.
But I will not disclose the details of any door locks. I will not disclose any details of the door locks. Okay.
I will say that Sebastian regularly and consistently went out and locked the door behind himself.
But I will say Sebastian regularly and consistently went out and locked the doors behind. Lock the doors behind. Well, so does every human being.
Okay. All right, let me get over here.
I don't get
because
her.
I have some other questions that are coming in.
No mention of him actually taking meds. He's been off them doing.
Now,
Exactly.
I will say this much: let them ask questions. I mean, we're not hiding anything. I've heard so much negativity that I refuse to answer questions. Let them fly. I mean, I'll
Okay.
be respectful on my responses. I would hope they would be respectful in their questions, but please let them fly. We're good with it.
Okay. I'm just going to Crystal, Arctic, do you have a question that you want to ask before I take a few questions from the chat?
I do.
I'm gonna. Okay, go ahead.
We know that Sebastian was high functioning, had high functioning autism.
Yeah.
What would you say was strengths and weaknesses that he had? Because no two kids are the same, is why I'm asking.
That is
That's what we're trying
you are
to.
nowhere far from the truth on that because that is so correct.
But
Sebastian is extremely high functioning. His weakness, he does not have a sense of personal space. They've always
okay, we got personal space again. All right. 1 second. Let me. Got a new page I'm doing here. All right. Chris. Sebastian's weakness is he doesn't have a, what is it? Sense of personal space. Sense of personal space. Okay.
been working with him about like a 3-foot rule because he likes to be right up in your face. Hey.
Okay. We've been talking to him about the 3 feet rule because he likes to be right up in your face. Now, we've been hearing this over and over. 3, yeah, there's the 3 again. Yes. But the 3 again. But we're hearing the getting up in your face. Getting up in your face.
Hey, you know, whoa, like a 3-foot rule because he likes to be right up in your face. Hey, you know,
Hey, you hear that?
whoa.
He deals with some social and emotional dysregulation issues.
Okay, Katie. He deals with social and emotional dysregulation issues.
Simply put, his emotions or responses don't always appropriately match the situation.
Okay. His emotions don't always match the situation.
And socially he can be somewhat awkward interacting with others because he doesn't always match, like, I don't know how to say it right. Like, someone will want to talk about one conversation, but if that's not the subject he's fixated on, he will just railroad over that and go right back to what he's thinking.
That's right, lip lock.
But at the same time, he's also, for the most part, a pretty happy kid, and he loves being a helper, and he is also, for the most part, a pretty happy kid. At the same time, but at the same time, I wrote on to talk about one conversation, but if that's not the subject he's fixated on, he will just railroad over that and go right back to what he's thinking. But at the same time, he's also, for the most part, a pretty happy kid, and he loves being a helper,
Gets
and he
fixated.
likes, he likes animals, and he's really smart.
He can play in a game of chess, and he's beat grown men in chess.
He actually likes reading occasionally, but only if it's what he wants to read.
Okay, so Sebastian loves to be a helper, reading, chess.
So like Minecraft books. He loves to read those.
Reading only on what he likes.
Albeit his humor is a little different. He's funny. I prefer he's silly more than anything.
How is he with strangers?
Depends on the day, to be honest with you. He goes either he's never met a stranger all the way to, depending on his mood, he don't want nothing to do with anybody. So it's kind of difficult to.
So it depends on his mood. He's never met a stranger, or he doesn't want anything to do with them.
Answer that question because it varies depending on where he is in the moment.
Okay, so difficult to answer. To answer because it depends where he is in the moment. Okay.
Normally, he's. There's times he's not afraid to talk to people. There's times he is afraid to talk to people.
To be honest,
adults maybe not so much, but children, he has no problem approaching children and talking.
For the most part.
For the most part, like I
do
said,
me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, guys.
It just depends on what mood and what day of the week you catch him.
Kind of like you, Chris.
Arctic, do you have a question you'd like to ask?
Depends what kind of mood you're in, Chris.
I just wanted to know if maybe, thinking back on it, is there anything you can think of that seemed off or out of the ordinary prior to him going missing that during the night before you noticed he was missing?
I honestly didn't notice anything that was like, oh my God, that's weird, I mean, we had a really good day, he wasn't in trouble.
Okay. We had a really good day. He wasn't in trouble. He wasn't in trouble. This is a constant theme.
Trouble at all.
Constant
he went to bed
theme
on
here.
a good note. And I don't know if maybe he just wasn't saying something.
Okay, not sure if he just wasn't saying something. Not sure if he just wasn't saying something that bothered him. Now, I would think it would be very difficult for him to hide how he was feeling, wouldn't you? We weren't fighting, yes. Jessica, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Appreciate that. So according to them, he has to be reminded to do everything in life, but he leaves in the middle of the night and remembers to lock the door. That's the only thing he is consistent with. Yep. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Thank you so much for that again, Jessica. I appreciate your support for the channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you. He was definitely CP's punching bag. I agree.
but nothing. And I've gone over this so many times. I'm ill, but I didn't see or notice anything that was like red flag, you know?
Okay.
He didn't have any meltdowns or anything like that that seemed off.
No, he was actually really well behaved that day. He was
Okay, there we go. Let me go back to that 1 second.
Okay.
He didn't have any melt.
see or notice anything that was like red flag, you know?
Didn't notice any red flags. Didn't see or notice anything that would have been red flag. All right. Now this thing is interesting what she says here.
Okay.
He didn't have any meltdowns or anything like that.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Terry Lynn, thank you so much, my dear. I love you. That's my girl. Listening in under tornado warning. Stay safe. Oh my God. Terry, be careful, honey. I know it's coming here. It's coming this way next. We had storms all yesterday. It was crazy. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate you, Terry. Become possible to determine if people are just. Yeah. At my son's school, the principal doesn't follow this spectrum, doesn't have the education and bullies children. Oh, wow. Please stay safe, Terry. I know it's a badass storm. It really is. It's been really bad. The chromosome deletion can cause autism. Why was autism diagnosed so late? Gina, that's a really good question that I would like to know as well. He was diagnosed extraordinarily late, and if he had a chromosome deletion, you think that pediatricians would have caught that a long time ago. Annie, maybe KP and Crispy have been fighting a lot, and he was threatening to come over and do something, and she was out all day to avoid home. My opinion, Chris. Thank you. Helen, thank you so much for 50 sick. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, dear. Thank you, my love. Appreciate your support. Means so much to me. Thank you. I think because Katie didn't want to face that something was wrong with her. Oh, Jessica, thank you so much for paying the sand tax. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. The sand tax. That's so funny. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Very sweet. It's funny. I kind of think they're lying about the diagnosis. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
That seemed off.
No, he was actually really well behaved that day. He was even keel for the most part all day.
Can I?
Okay, he was well behaved. He was well behaved that day. Actually, even killed. How do you spell that? Kate, I don't know. Even killed? Keeled? Okay. I think that's how I spelled it. Let me check. Yep, that's how I spelled it. So okay.
Ask the question.
Sure.
Was that unusual? for him to be
No,
well behaved all day?
not necessarily. And
Or did she mean even he was even that day?
Sebastian goes through phases.
Hold on, what was that?
Sebastian goes.
All day.
not necessarily. And
Sebastian goes through phases.
he's got streaks where he's great.
Okay, Sebastian goes through phases. Sebastian goes through phases. Okay, and then Chris interjects and he says he's got streaks where he's great. Where he's great.
And then it's like he
Goes through remission.
yeah.
And then it's like he. And then it's like he. And then Katie interjects. Goes through remission. So bizarre. Remission. Chris, yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, like he'll screw up and he'll get
Now Chris is getting comfortable. Yeah, like he'll screw up. Chris. Yeah. Like he'll screw up. It's all about that. Oh, Sebastian, are you being good? Sebastian, are you being bad? Sebastian. Remission? The fuck?
in trouble. And then
He'll screw up and he'll get in trouble. And then he'll get in trouble.
he'll be good again and he'll screw up. I mean,
Well, isn't that called, Chris? Knock, knock, mother chicken. Knock, knock, mother chicken. That's called human. That's called being human. That's what that is. That's called being a kid. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they get into shit. That's called being a human being, being a child. What? I mean, that's called everyone. Dumbass, such a dumbass, man. He'll be good and then he'll screw up. He'll be good and then he'll screw up.
he's like a typical kid.
Right? That's what a typical kid does. He's like a typical kid. Everyone that has known Sebastian outside, they said he was just like a normal, just an average kid.
In a sense, but he just has autism, and I mean it's hit or miss.
But like he'll be doing really, really great.
It's hit or miss. Hit or miss.
For a few weeks, and then all of a sudden it's like he'll
Katie, he'll do good for a few weeks. He'll do good for a few weeks, and then it's like you flip a switch. These people, man. These people. It's craziness. Okay.
flip a switch. Sorry. And, and then we're working on, going to the bathroom, and
Then we're working on going to the bathroom. Going to the bathroom. There's the bathroom stuff again.
on manners, and we're working on attitude, and then we'll go through that phase, and then we'll go through, and he'll flip the switch again, and he's, doing really great.
Then he'll flip the switch again. Again, and then he's doing really great. Really great. Okay. So bizarre.
goes through,
I understand that
it's like
completely. Trust me.
progress, backpedal,
Progress, backpedal, progress, backpedal, progress, backpedal. Progress, backpedal, progress, backpedal. I just thought it was being a human.
but
Now, when I saw on social media, some people were talking about Seth had spoken on, I guess it was, maybe it was the Pascal show that he recently spoke on. And he was talking about how at the end of the school year, Sebastian was supposed to come and live with him. And can you tell us anything about that? Is there anything specific to know about that? I think a lot of people have been saying some very interesting things. According to some posts that I saw, apparently
Very
it's
true,
because
Negro.
Chris, you are that he's scared of you. That he's scared of you, and that you're bullying him at home. And I don't like to ask these questions, but I feel like this needs to be addressed because I just want you to talk to us about why people are saying this and why.
Thank you so much, Brenda, my dear. Thank you so much. Appreciate ya. Thank you, love. I heard someone in the UK that says they don't have any birds in the UK. I thought that was really strange. They said they're extinct there. Birds? Like quack, squawk, parrots? Like birds? Like, is that what you mean? Thank you for that, my dear. There's birds. I've been to the UK. I've been to the UK. I've been to the UK, been to Scotland, been to Ireland. There's birds. There's birds. Yep. Birds.
Christopher! Oh, Grace! Oh, Grace! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Grace!
They even have chickens. They even had chickens. That scream, Christopher! Christopher!
People are also putting online that you have domestic violence charges, and I just wanted you to talk to us about that. If you, whatever you feel like you can tell us, so we can try to reel that in.
No, I'm okay to address every bit of this.
Okay.
So You mentioned Sebastian's afraid of me. Well, that is a loaded question because
Hold on.
somebody who, well,
You asked if Sebastian was afraid, Chris. You asked if Sebastian was afraid. Well, that is a loaded question. Okay.
that is a loaded question because somebody who has released some information out there from another show who I won't put his name out there, allowed somebody to say something. Now, mind you, when you have a teenage child or teenage children, all parents know this, your children are not going to like you because...
Okay, I think this is very important. Mind you that you have a teenage child that you have a teenage child. Okay.
Children, all parents know this, your children are not going to like you because
that all parents know this, your children are not gonna like you.
you're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be a parent.
Well, they have parents, Chris. Sebastian has parents. You're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be a parent. All right. Right, Green Eyes? Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, we got to remember that Chris said that Sebastian thought he was going to get me out of the house with CPS. Most children would not want someone in the family out of the house unless there was something going on in that house. And Sebastian doesn't need any more parents. He has a mother, he has a father.
And as parents, you have rules they have to follow. If they don't.
Okay. And as a parent, you have rules that they have to follow.
Don't, there's consequences.
And if they don't, there is consequences. If they don't, there is consequences.
Sebastian will say one day he's upset and mad at me for something, and
Okay. Sebastian will say one day he's upset and mad at me for something.
20 minutes later will run up to me, throw his arms around me.
20 minutes later, he will run up and throw his arms around me.
Cry and say, I'm sorry and I love you. So,
cry, say, I'm sorry and I love you.
you know, when you get in trouble, of course you don't like your parents. You know, he said the exact same things about his father, but that's when you set him.
So, you know, when you get in trouble, of course, they don't like your like your parents.
You know, he said the exact same things about his father.
He said the exact same things about his father. He said the exact same things about his father. Okay.
But that's when you set him down and said, look, bud, parents are parents, and we're going to have to do what we have to do.
Parents are parents. We're going to have to do what we have to do.
And unfortunately, you're not going to like it, but down the road, when you get...
Okay. Chris, parents are parents, and you have to sit them down and say, you're not gonna like it, but one day down the road, when you get older,
and if you decide to have children, someday you're going to look back and say, man, they were right.
And decide to have children, you're gonna look back one day and say, man, you were right. I can't with this man. Terry Lynn shared your link. I can't chat yet. Oh. It's here. I'll switch it. I've got it on members. Not members, but hold on. I'll fix it so you can. Bear with me 1 second. One minute. There you go. You should be able to chat now. Thank you, Sunny Days. Thank you, Terry Lynn, for sharing out my link. Make sure you got mods. Please share out Terry Lynn's link as well.
So, I mean, people have their opinions. They have their thoughts and their assumptions, and that's fine. I have never once stopped a person from having them.
Yeah, right.
That's why we are people that are. But knowing the facts are one thing, and then assumptions behind what you want to put out there is something totally different.
Right.
You know, you addressed domestic violence. Okay. There are some folks out there who've decided to go online and go pull some public records, which perfectly okay with. Domestic violence. If I had domestic violence in my background, I wouldn't have certain credentials that I have because you're not legally allowed to.
You got it, Sonny.
Domestic violence? No. I've had a temporary protective order, and I had a no contact order placed against me in New.
Okay, so Chris, I've had a temp protective order and against me in
Mexico,
and a no contact order and a no contact order in New Mexico. Okay.
With my ex-wife. Now, mind you, let me back up and I'll play the whole story for you.
With my ex.
Me and my ex-wife, we actually lived here in Tennessee for a little bit. We had a daughter. And at the time, my daughter was only...
And by the way, Chris, I believe Nina. I believe her 100%.
Maybe 6 weeks old. An event took place while I was holding my daughter. And when that took...
Okay. So here's where he's talking about it. Had a daughter. I had a daughter at the time. My daughter
was only maybe 6 weeks old.
Okay. Had a daughter. had a daughter at the time. Maybe she was 6 weeks old. Okay.
An event took place while I was holding my daughter.
An event. An event took place while I was holding my daughter. Okay.
And when that took place, I filed for an immediate protection order against.
Okay. When that took place, he filed. When that took place, I filed for an immediate.
Her. We went to court. The court made their decisions. I gave my daughter back to her mother. And when she received her, she jumped in the truck and flew right back to New Mexico.
Okay. So obviously the court did not side with him. Court made their decision, and I gave her back to the mother. The mother then, what did she say? I gave the daughter back to the mother, and when she received
her, she jumped in the truck.
When she received her, she jumped in the truck. Jumped in the truck back to New Mexico. We all know what happened there, Chris.
And flew right back to New Mexico. Got to New Mexico within 2 days of being there. She turned around and filed the exact same thing against me in New Mexico.
2 days of being in New Mexico.
So everything that people are reading, it's on a court document. But what you don't read is the all the things that are happening in the court.
What about the
You're not
alleged
reading the transcript? So unfortunately, you don't.
What about the alleged trying to run over?
Know the full story.
How about that?
But if people want to ask,
exactly, pick me.
I'm okay to tell you. You know, yes, I still have a current custody case going on in New Mexico that actually has absolutely zero bearing on this case with Sebastian. I do ask people to refrain from bringing that up because it has no bearing. And all you're going to do is put assumptions, and you're going to allow people to have their speculations and bring out more false information. And what people don't understand is every time somebody puts something out there, or they call into the law enforcement agency and says, the stepfather did it, you need to check the stepfather. Well, now you just pulled a body away from the investigation because they are mandated to deal with that.
Right.
And I have told everybody from the very beginning that TBI put a news link out, and in there it does state that all three parents have extremely been cooperative and constantly or continuously working with law enforcement. And there's absolutely nothing to show that we are responsible.
No, they didn't say that, Chris. They did not say that. They said you are cooperating, but they did not say anything about you guys not being responsible. They didn't say that to anybody, mother chicken. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. No, they didn't, Chris.
Christopher! Oh, Grace! Oh, Grace! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Grace!
Chris is lying there. Didn't say that. They didn't say absolutely nothing to show that we are responsible.
Foul play, any of that nature. People
did not say
asked about interrogations and polygraphs. All this stuff has been done. All of it has
Yeah, I
been
think
done.
that was one of the questions that I had up next was, have you
Christopher.
both taken a polygraph test?
The results.
Okay, here we are. Have you both taken, this is a very important part right here. Let me make a new page. 1 second. For those of you that's just joined us, I'm putting this into a program, and that way we'll have all of it written down. I'm going to share it with everyone. Okay, Chris was asked if they both had taken a polygraph. Now, this is what Chris replies right here.
Are passed.
Say that again, Chris.
The results are passed.
Polygraph test.
What, Chris?
The results are passed.
They were not at the time. He was lying. Chris. The results are passed. That was not the case at the time.
Chris, can I ask something? Because I know that
Yes,
people
ma'am.
was going to ask it afterwards. The event that happened, was that toward you or by you?
It was toward me.
Okay.
So to give you I'll go ahead and paint that story very crystal clear.
Go ahead, paint it.
I was holding my daughter in my left arm. Okay, mind you, she was a little baby. She was up against my chest, cuddled up next to my cheek and my shoulder. My ex-wife accused me of having an affair with a coworker, who was not much into men. I'll let you go that direction wherever you want to go. Just wasn't into men.
Christopher.
And that coworker was my boss at the time. And she didn't like, and I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" And I showed it to her. She's very hot-headed. She didn't like the answer, swore up and down I was.
Right.
And she connected and slapped me across the left-hand side of my face where I was holding my daughter. If you can do that while a man is holding a child, or a woman is holding a child for that matter, if you can slap that person while they're holding that child, that says something about you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be in that situation. I wouldn't expect any person to be in a situation of that. So I had to do what I had to do based on being a parent, which was best for my child.
Right.
I just knew that in the future that people would be online saying there was an incident and nobody asked what the incident was. You
And I'm
said the
sure,
result,
I'm sure they're
the
going to
results are,
spin it.
yeah, the results of the polygraph was that you passed. Is that
What
both
about the
of you
girl in
passed?
Alabama,
or
Chris, you
can
tried to
say?
cheat on Katie with? Oh, that one,
Yes.
Thomas.
Okay.
He doesn't want
I think
you to
that was my question that was up next was, so you've both taken a polygraph test. That was some of the questions. I see a couple people asking that specifically. Did you take a polygraph
Cheated.
test specifically? Chloe and Mo wanted to know specifically, could you elaborate? Did you take one and also pass?
Here we go.
I've got a question, and a lot of people have been asking, Chris, is there any reason why you don't want Sebastian around your daughter?
Here we go.
So I'm going to make this real crisp.
Okay. He's going to make it real crystal clear, guys. Listen to this. Is there any reason why you would not want your daughter around Sebastian?
Crystal clear for everybody. There's some things that can be spoken.
Okay. Chris. On why he doesn't want Faith around Sebastian. Chris. And he says there are some things that can't be spoken.
Spoke of, and there's some things that will not be spoke of.
And some things that will not be spoke of. And some things that will not be spoke of. Okay? Let me find it.
And personal issues inside my family are strictly that. They have
Personal issues inside my family. My family are strictly that.
nothing, no bearing on this investigation. The cops are well aware of everything involving specifics. And that's quite honestly, I know this is going to sound snarky and rude, but it's really nobody's business as to that because it has no bearing on this case.
Understood. Okay.
And for the record, I will say this: all three parents
Bearing on this.
have an agreement, and we all understand this.
Chris, all three parents have an
That
agreement.
can be
Got
said.
Got it. Okay. And someone wanted to ask, Angela said, I would like for Chris to clarify what he meant when he said he hasn't seen Sebastian since early February. Are you able to clarify? And if you're not, just state that.
So I cannot give certain details with this investigation, and that's kind of one.
Oh, imagine that. You can't. Is that because CPS told you wasn't supposed to be at that house, Chris? Is that what it is? I bet it was. Well, so Cher, this is what I said earlier. So people say the things that Chris and Katie and Seth say are facts. They are actually not facts. We are getting statements from them because they are suspects. So what we are taking right now are actual statements. It's what they say is not a fact because they are suspects. Right? What we are getting from them are their statements. So people's like, that's not a fact. That's not a fact. Well, what Chris and Katie say isn't a fact because they're suspects and Seth.
One of those things.
Okay.
Oh my God. Reptile Wildfire gave me snack money. Snacks. Where is Sebastian? Katie? Christopher? Thank you, Reptile, for the snack money. Thank you for the snack money, my friend. Appreciate the snacks because I'm not 15 and I need snacks. Thank you. Okay.
I wished I could eventually down the road. I'm sure that
I wished you could. You do not wish you could. Okay. I cannot. What did he say here? I need to go back here and say this. Just state that so I cannot give certain details. Give certain details on
with this investigation, and that's kind of one of those things.
On the investigation, meaning the dates that he was or wasn't home in February. Now, you tell me this, guys. Tell me this. Why would authorities tell Chris and Katie that they can't say what days they were home prior to Sebastian going missing. I'll wait, because it has nothing. Chris, that is one that actually has no bearing on the investigation. You are lying, sir. You are lying, and you will not even come up on this panel to even let me tell you that you're lying about that. That is absolute bull crap. TBI law enforcement will never, ever, 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 ever tell you what to say and not say. They will only give you what they give the public. Period. They're not attorneys. They're law enforcement. I am having angry snacks. Thank you, Hey Jude, for your angry snacks. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate your angry snack. Like Chris. Angry snacks. So it's very convenient to me that we are over 90 days in this, and Chris can't even say the days he was home in February. Because why? Because in my opinion, he was not supposed to be there. I think he got mad because Sebastian actually had him thrown out via CPS, because the CPS was investigating. They were investigating, and there you go. While they're investigating, you can't be there.
Things.
Okay.
I wished I could eventually down the road. I'm sure that will allow to come out.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, the answer that I've given is early February was the last time that I saw Sebastian. And no, I was not home when all of this took place. I actually got back to Nashville.
Bullshit. Sorry.
And I believe it was later in the afternoon. But I was on the phone with the police for the majority of that day until I physically got here.
A question that I've seen asked, so I figured I wrote it down to ask you. Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So our house is not designated for city limits, which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location, and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatcher, who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight.
Too many words.
There's no point in wasting time going from one to another to get to what I need when I know exactly who to call.
Exactly.
And you guys were on a three-way call?
Thank you, Patricia.
Because you were not, you were coming from out of town. Is that correct?
We were on a three-way call.
Yeah, that law enforcement was called on a three-way call. Is
Uh-huh.
that correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to clarify that. Carrie Dean wants to ask you if Sebastian could have been sneaking out prior without y'all knowing.
I agree, Tara.
I would like to say no.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is not Sebastian. He's not a child that just goes outside at any point in time without telling somebody something.
Okay. He's not a child. He's not a child that just goes out and any point without telling somebody. Without telling somebody. Now remember, Sebastian doesn't like to get dirty, messy, scared of
Zero
bugs.
knowledge.
Yeah,
Doesn't
if
want to
it
go out in the
had
middle of the
happened,
night without shoes.
we don't know about it. But our neighborhood is a very small subdivision. It's not huge. And everybody here looks out for everybody. We all watch to make sure everything's kosher in the neighborhood, and nobody has reported anything of that nature.
Okay. Crazy Linda asked, were there any weapons in either homes? And if so, were they all accounted for by law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. And
So he can tell us if there's, he can tell us that there's no weapons, all the weapons was accounted for, but he can't say whether he was home prior to Sebastian going missing. Chris, really?
Do you all have camera footage in your home? I've heard people saying that too.
You're welcome.
That is some information that we cannot divulge at this time due to the ongoing
What is that?
That
People saying that too.
Do you have camera footage
in your home? I've heard people saying that.
I've heard people saying that. Okay. This is very important. Question. Do you have camera footage in your home? Chris.
That too.
that is some information that we cannot divulge at this time due to the ongoing.
That is information that we cannot divulge at this time due to an ongoing investigation. That's bullshit, Chris.
Ongoing investigation.
okay.
Thank you.
I wish
Did
we could, but unfortunately we can't.
Did Sebastian
It's not funny. Idiot.
have a key to the house? And if he did he take that key with him?
That is another part of an investigation that's ongoing that we
Terry.
cannot answer.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Hold on.
Investigation that's ongoing
That key with him.
that is another part of an investigation that's ongoing that we cannot answer.
Okay.
Can I ask the question I've seen? Whose idea was it for Sebastian to move in with his bio dad after school was out?
All three parents.
Okay, that's important. Question. Whose idea was it for Sebastian to move in whenever school was out? And Chris answers all three parents.
And another thing that I've seen, and I mean, I understand if y'all can't answer, but was there also a restraining order on the biological dad?
That was posted in a Facebook group
Yes.
that someone sent to me. I think, no, that was something else. Let me find it. Someone sent that to me.
It was actually underneath JLR's video. It wasn't in the Facebook group.
Okay, so here's what I will openly.
Thank you so much, my dear. I appreciate you. Truth prevails. She asked two questions about Guns, and he only gave one answer. What was the second question? Does anyone remember what the second question was? Thank you for that. He's definitely lying about
Let's
the
say
9/11.
about that.
Oh, there it is. That's what somebody posted in the comments.
So what I will say on that is this. People go through divorces, and it is not the best of times. So I was not.
There was the best of times, there was the worst of times, and then there was Christopher. Christopher. There's always Christopher.
Christopher! Oh, Chris! Oh, Chris! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Chris! Christopher! Christopher! Oh, Chris!
Christopher. That chicken's so annoying. I
Privy
love it.
to that kind of information prior to my relationship.
Look at
with
there. Look at there.
her.
Watch
Not
this.
privy to.
So I was not perving to. Even the voice thing catches it. He says divorces, and it is not the best of times, so I was not perving to. Pervy.
That kind of information prior to my relationship with my wife. That if anything happened, that happened prior to my knowledge. So I cannot and give you an answer of that. But what I can say is, if it is out there, it could be of public knowledge. It could be a public record, but I don't have any knowledge of it.
Thank you, Rhonda. I love the chicken.
Okay.
Thank you, my
That's
love.
what I needed to ask on that one. Okay, going back over here to my questions. Guys, please, I appreciate your patience, and they are sending me the questions. So I see that you guys are still posting more questions, and I'm getting to them as fast as I can. So thank you guys for being patient. I do have 4 or 5 more messages that just popped up that said they want to know that you definitely took a polygraph and passed because it got cut off by a different question, and they feel like you did not answer that. So I'm just asking one more time. This is the last time, guys. I'm going to revisit this question.
Okay, for the record.
Mo, he said he passed it, according to Amy.
Well, hold on. Somebody asked the question, was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes. I didn't specify who.
See, this is where he likes to play with words. I didn't specify who.
Or when.
But
what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed. So I'm confused as in why they're all wondering if myself, my wife, and the biological father took one. When law enforcement agency has come out and told everybody, even in the TBI news link, if you guys hadn't read that, please go out and read that. That's got a lot of great information in it, especially it's probably the most up-to-date information. But they will even tell you, at this point in time, they have no reason to speculate foul play, anything on the parents. Everybody's been extremely cooperative of
they have not said
anything
that,
and
Chris.
everything they've asked us.
You're lying.
Okay. And Bobby, why did that happen? Because it's public. It's a public post. And these are questions that people are asking. And that is why it's up there. So before we go any further, we'll go back, and this is another, I have had many questions about this, about supposedly Sebastian's grandmother spoke out last night from some comments on a YouTube chat. Is there anything that that you want to say about this particular comment? Because I have been messaged multiple times about this. If you want to address it, you don't, and if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Such a
I
liar.
just wanted to ask you.
I will address it. I have, like I said, if somebody's refusing to address something that shows suspicion, I have no problems to address this. The grandmother, which is Seth, Robin is the name. She is Seth's biological father's mom. She made her statement on whatever YouTube channel. That's fine.
Thank you, Trev.
What I can say on that is real simple. Like I said earlier in this podcast, kids are going to say things. They're going to get upset because you're a parent and they don't like your answers. Sebastian has said, like I said before, the same thing about his biological father. But when you sit your kids down and you explain to them that being a parent, you have to do things that they don't like, unfortunately, it is what it is. We're not, as parents, everybody knows we're not to be our child's best friends. We're there to be parents. As a parent, your job in life is to make sure your offspring grow up to be better than we ever have been, or get things better than we ever could get. And that's your legacy. That's our job. And kids don't like it. They're not going to understand because they're still young. Their minds are being molded.
I don't think it was just that, Chris.
But eventually they're going to grow up, and when they have their own kids, they're going to look back and go, man, our parents were right. Because everybody that's an adult that has kids right now, not one person can say, no, he's wrong. Because you've all done it. We still do it. And that's just part of it.
Right. And thank you, Trev, for being here. I thought this was a very important, when I saw this, it really kind of shocked me. And I felt like, while you're willing, to answer questions, I thought it was an important question to ask. Trev said, she said Chris verbally abused her, and that's very different than parenting. I just wanted to ask because people have a lot of questions. And so that was, I just wanted to ask you. And it was,
Exactly right.
no shade to Trev time. He just was posting that that's what happened in the chat, and he did verify that it was her.
Reflection.
So, I just wanted to bring it straight to you. The best way to clarify
to clear up her statement about me being
March
verbally
17th.
abusive to her.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, she's not going to tell you the full story. But there's always, remember, 3 sides to the truth: hers, mine, and the truth in itself. So you can figure it out. Me and the grandmother had a conversation, and this all stems back to an incident that a family member did. That as
me and the grandmother,
parents, we had consulted with law enforcement about something. They recommended not doing it. Lo and behold, something happened, and something was done against what we decided. I reached out to the mom and asked for her help. During that conversation, some accusations got flung in my direction and toward my wife, which the mother or the grandmother actually doesn't have the whole story. She has never once sat down with me, my wife, her son, and gotten the full truth on everything. She's only heard one side of the story. And I can promise you, I've got text messages and I'm not afraid to show them. I'm not afraid to screenshot them and let the public see it.
Oh, Chris is saying he's going to
Now, I will say, unfortunately, none of this has to do with the investigation of our son.
He's not your son, he's your
yes,
stepson.
we had a heated discussion. Yes, I sent her an apology for the heated discussion. And I've never received anything back from the grandmother, which I have always left that door open. In fact, the day when they got into town, I invited them to my house and welcomed them in. They stayed for a couple hours, then they left. I helped them guide them to the direction where they were putting their RV, and have always made it abundantly clear that regardless, people are going to have their disputes.
Guys, we're getting a hell of a storm. My electric just flicked, so if that happens, I'm
Door's
sorry.
always open.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Cluminati, yes, asked this several times in
did.
chat, so I want to go ahead and address that. Where can locals be looking for Sebastian? Cluminati is local to your area, and she would like to know where you would like for people to be looking for Sebastian so they can be looking there. Is there any areas that you and Katie want to have people that are out there searching, where you want them to be hanging flyers? What can you tell us about that?
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I mean, for me to give you a designated area would suspect that we think he's in an area. Well, we don't know. So anywhere and everywhere, people be very vigilant. Please be vigilant. You'd be surprised in how complacent we as society get when we're not focused on things. We're so driven on our day-to-day functions that we forget about things that are going on around us. We're all guilty, myself included. You know, anywhere and everywhere you can look. If there's not a flyer and you can print one off and post it up where you don't see a flyer, please do. I'm speaking for all three parents and all the families. We would greatly appreciate that. We send prayers, our thoughts, and our love out to everyone. I promise you. If there was a way we could make it felt and we could show it, we would.
We appreciate.
Well, I think actions speak louder than words. I don't know about you, but actions to me speak louder than words. And the only thing they have done is spread a bunch of screaming, really. Not a lot of words. That, in my opinion, that have been kind about Sebastian. He has, everything's been negative. They ran as soon as they could, stay in that damn camper when they don't want to live in their house. It's
Appreciate
weird.
that, and we're happy. We're happy to help in any way that we can to find Sebastian. Ginger Snaps has a question. Can any of Sebastian's school friends drive?
So
Yeah.
I think there's a misconception about what he calls friends. He's not in normal classes. He's in like what they call it, Why We Try program. So
Okay, now this is interesting to me because he says he's not in normal classes. I just now got that, Chris. He's not in normal classes. He's in, what's it called? Why We Try? Why We Try. Why We Try. Now, Seth said he was in normal classes, and I believe even Chris said he was in normal classes before, except they gave him more time to do his work.
any kids with IEPs and et cetera, things of that nature, are put into this class where they have 3 or 4 teachers or assistants in the room with a teacher at one given time. And while that goes on, there's not many kids in the class.
Yes.
So if Sebastian says they're a friend and they talk to him, he considers them a friend.
Okay.
But he doesn't have friends like most kids that would go and, hey, I'm going over to Johnny and Susie's house to hang out.
It's just terrible that you're
because
doing
of
this.
his social awkwardness.
Chris says Sebastian doesn't have normal friends, like, say, going over to Susie and Johnny's house, because of his social awkwardness.
It's very difficult for him to make friends. And
It's very difficult for him to make friends. Very difficult for him to make friends.
he's actually asked for Christmas. We ask, what do you want for Christmas? I just want friends.
That makes me want to cry. Chris, for Christmas, asked him what he wanted for Christmas, and he said, I just want friends. Guys, this is living proof right here. If you know someone who wants friends, or more than anything in the world, be a friend. Be a friend to them. Give them your number. Talk to them. Sit with them at lunch. Take time to hear them. Everyone, every single person on this planet, whether they say they do or they don't, everyone wants to be accepted. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be cared for, and everyone wants to know that they matter. Make someone feel like, become their friend.
Right.
We're at that level, but no, unfortunately, he does not associate with kids that can drive.
Okay.
So I wished he had a lot of friends, but I think after this, and when he comes home, this boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do.
Okay. And Doodlebug Fart says, I wonder if Sebastian knows how to connect his Switch to Wi-Fi. Like, had he ever done that before?
No, ma'am, he does not have the ability.
I don't know what, Amy, I guess someone didn't like what we have to say. You can have any opinion here, as long as it is, decently respectful. You can be, more on the side of Seth. You can be more on the side of Chris and Katie. You can be in the middle. You can be on none of it. We're not an echo chamber here. I say what I say, but you can believe whatever you want, and truly believe whatever you want, because what has happened to Sebastian has already happened to Sebastian. None of us know. So, you guys know where I stand, but I don't need an echo chamber. I don't need someone on panel to back me up and say, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I don't need someone like that. I am perfectly, absolutely fine with where I sit in the bleachers. But yeah, everyone can have a differing of opinion. I am praying my electric does not go out. Okay, sorry.
We have the Wi-Fi lockdown, so you have to request to join it, and then that request has to be approved by us. But his Switch actually has parental controls on it set forth by his mom.
None, Grandma Smurf, none.
Okay. And Vet Girl
Does he have the
RWB.
same rules that his dad? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Does he have the same rules that his dad
There
has?
goes.
No, ma'am, I don't believe so. We respect, like, what he does at his dad's house is under his dad's roof. We do stay in communications as far as like his behavior. Hey, this is what's going on. This is the punishment he's received. It's up to you if you want to continue with that at your house, vice versa. It's like I said.
Well, our opinions are not going to change the outcome. My opinion, your opinion, whether they're the same or they are different, it's not going to change the outcome of what has happened and what will happen. It's not going to change it.
There's three of us, and we are extremely respectful toward one another when it comes to Sebastian. You'd be surprised. It's not like it's a tug of war game. It's very, very cooperative among all three parents.
Okay.
Did
Big girl.
Sebastian want to live?
Guys, don't be deleting comments. Don't be deleting comments. Take it easy on the wrench. I don't know who deleted it out, but we're not an echo chamber here. As long as they're, there's a classy way to put your opinion, right?
Is that
Say again, ma'am. I'm sorry.
did was Sebastian
By the
excited
way-
about living with
By
him?
the way, today is exactly 3 months that Sebastian has been disappeared.
His biological dad.
Well, that depends on what day you ask him, to be honest with you. There's days he was and days he wasn't. I mean, like I said, when a kid gets in trouble, I don't like you. Well, I'm sorry. And then an hour later, he, like nothing happened. So like I said, it's up or down.
Okay.
And I'm seeing this in chat, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask, is there a particular reason that you laugh before you answer a question? I've got my thoughts on it, but I think it would be better if you just took it.
That's fine. There are some questions that when people ask, I have heard these questions so many times. As much as people are on social media and they read the responses, I still...
Yes, Beautiful Sunflower, I do too. I think it's horrible that he is mocked. And I wonder if he was, my mind can't help but think, was he mocked whenever he was in the house?
We'll get the same questions. So it's tiresome, but you know what? I told everybody I would answer the questions. So yeah, in a way, it's kind of funny that I keep getting the same questions over and over and over. But like I've told everybody, I respect them. I will answer them.
Okay.
But trust me, by any means, is this fun? No. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy at all.
Artie, do you have a question before I read Bet Girl's next question?
I think he's muted.
Okay. Go Bulldogs. Katie is there with Chris, but if she wants to speak, she will speak. But
yes, she is.
Vet
I
Girl,
do got a question about the shoes.
I think we have a delay, Crystal.
Sorry.
Because it's okay.
I think we do.
Let me ask this question real
How
quick.
many shoes did Sebastian have?
Say it one more time.
How many pairs of shoes did Sebastian have?
Oh, well.
How many shoes he has, but I will say that all of the
She's not going to tell how many pairs of shoes he has. Why? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? You're not going to tell?
shoes he has are accounted for.
But I will say all of the shoes that he has are accounted for.
Did y'all catch Mom?
I didn't
It broke
quite
up a
hear.
little bit for me. Did you hear?
Okay. She said that she would not divulge how many pairs of shoes he has, but law enforcement has accounted for every pair of shoes.
I have accounted for all of his shoes.
Okay. Vet Girl says, can you ask what Sebastian's normal school night routine is? Like some kids like to have their shower or a favorite blanket, their favorite pajamas. Please and thanks.
Sure. Sebastian comes home, gets off the school bus, comes in the house, does his chores, completes his homework, eats
Yeah.
dinner.
We have the public self, the private self, and the secret self.
That time kind of varies. I don't have a set time on that. Bedtime, we normally have it right around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Sebastian gets a shower most of the time before he goes to bed, around 7 o'clock ish.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, he's in the bed by 9 o'clock.
And Sebastian didn't have anyone that lived in the area that he hung out with at all that lives near you.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Alicia P.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go. It's getting pretty bad here. I'll be back in a little bit. Hopefully, as long as I have electric. As long as I have electric. Really bad storms, really bad storms. Love you all. I'll be back in a little bit, Lord willing. Thank you all for being here. I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless. Be safe if you are in these storms. Love you guys. Bye-bye.